In this lecture we are going to learn how to install the required softwares for the Android development, and we are going to see whether installed softwares are working functionally properly or not. So we'll start with the installing the required softwares. Right. So to build an Android applications, one should have Java Development Kit or JDK, then Android SDK, it means Android Software Development Kit, and last component which is required for the Android development, that is Integrated Development IDE. It is also environment. It is called. It's also called as the IDE. IDE is a software component in which we actually do a coding work. Now Android SDK is compatible with Windows operating system, Mac operating system, as well as the Linux operating system. You can install your Android SDK on any of these three operating systems without any problem. Android development environment can be set up using the two ways. There are two methods to set up the Android development. So first method is to set up an Android setup with Eclipse IDE manually. Okay, so in this particular method we have to download each and every software component which is required for Android development, and we have to install it one by one. But this method is currently depreciated. It means generally it is not used by any of the Android developers, because it took a lot of time to install the Android SDK, and there are n number of settings to make the Android setup properly work. And second method is called as using an Android Studio, and this is since the first method was the tedious, that's why an Android has developed the another method afterwards. It is called as the Android Studio. Okay, and a purpose of the development of Android Studio software component is that to make an Android programming setup environment process very simple. Android Studio is a software component which contains an say some particular software components. So it includes Eclipse IDE, Android SDK, then Android virtual device, and Eclipse plugins. Whatever software we were need to install, download and install individually in the old method, these all components are embedded into the Android Studio. That's why installation using Android Studio is very easy. Okay, so by downloading Android Studio directly from the Google official website, one can easily set up the development environment for the Android programming. Right, then we'll see example or actual steps how to install the Android Studio on Windows 10 operating system. So first step for installing the software is that we have to download the latest version of Android Studio from this official website of the Google or Android. Okay, so after clicking on this particular URL, it will take you to this website, which is the official website of Google for Android Studio. So from here you can download the current version of the Android Studio. As soon as new version of the Android is released in the market, it will be available on this official site. So from here you can download the setup file for Android Studio. Then after downloading latest version of Android Studio, next step is you have to launch the setup file by double clicking on it. Right, so on Android Studio.exe file you need to double click so that executable file can be launched. Okay, after exe file is launched, it will show you a welcome window as shown in this slide. Okay, so it will show this particular message. You need to read this message carefully and follow the steps accordingly. For example, it is recommended that you need to close all the windows of other applications if they are open on your PC or laptop before proceeding with the setup of or installation of the Android Studio. Then you have to click on the next button. After clicking on the next button here, the next window comes that allows you to choose the which component are to be installed on your machine which are required for the Android development. Generally there are three components, and those are Android Studio, Android SDK and Android Virtual Device. Okay, so this Android Studio is say we can say it a bundle that contains a number of software components. That's why it is required. And Android SDK contains the various tools and various classes and packages which are required for the Android development. And third one is the Android Virtual Device. As its name suggests, it is a virtual device, or we can see it as a virtual mobile phone on which we can install our developed applications and test there before actual release in the market. These Android virtual devices are also called as the emulator in the context of mobile development or mobile application development. Okay, so from this screen you have to choose all the three components and then click on the next button. In next window it will show you the license agreement. So recommended is that you go through this all text, and then you need to click on the I agree button. Right. So after clicking on I agree button, it will take you to the next window where there are some configuration setting. It means in this particular window you have to specify the local machine drive location to install Android Studio and Android SDK. Okay, it means on your machine, local machine, it means it may be laptop or it may be desktop. On that particular machine, on which drive you are going to install your Android Studio and Android SDK. Location for this both will be same or both will be different. Then after selecting a proper location, then click on the next button. Then next window will ask you to choose a start menu folder. It means after successful installation of the Android Studio, when you click on the start button of your PC or laptop, then which name should be appear there for the Android Studio, so that after clicking on that particular name in the start menu, your Android Studio will be started. So that name should be specified here, but by default Android Studio name is given there, and recommended is that you don't change this name. Without changing this name, then you click on the install button. Now depending upon the configuration of your machine, it means the speed of processor of your machine, it will take some time, and once installation is completed, it will show this particular window. It means installation complete and setup was completed successfully. Okay, and it will also show one progress bar which is filled with green color, which show that installation is completed, right? And after completion of this installation, but remember this installation is of only Android Studio. Okay, so until this moment we have installed only Android Studio, but Android SDK is remaining till this moment. For that, click on the next button. Okay, so this window is indicates you now you are going to complete your installation of the Android Studio. It means completing Android Studio setup, and here is one checkbox. If you check this, then after clicking on the finish button, then instantly Android Studio will be started. If it is unchecked and you click on the finish button, then it will complete the installation of Android Studio, but it will not start instantly. Okay, so check it and click on the next say finish button. Then it will show one window that permits you to choose one of the two options, right? So while launching the Android Studio, it will give you an option to import the settings from the previous version of the Android Studio if any such a older version is installed on your machine. In case if you don't have any previous version, or other case maybe if you have previous version of the Android Studio but you don't want to import that old setting, then you have to choose this second option and then click on the OK button. Then it will open the Android Studio setup wizard window. Okay, so wizard is nothing but it is a process that guides you how to perform some particular thing step by step. Okay, so this is a wizard window for Android setup. You just read this message and click on the next button, right? So these four icons indicates that this is a tablet and mobile phone. It means there are the categories for which you can develop your Android application. So this is for mobile phone or tablet. This is for Android Wear. It means watches, Android watches that can be wear on your wrist. And this is for desktop application development, and this is for Android Auto. It means the application which is going to run on the smart screen of your vehicles. Okay, then from this wizard window you click on the next button. Then it will show you the type of installation. As usual, there are two types of installation. First one is the standard and another is the custom. So recommended is that you have to choose the standard version. So standard installation includes most common settings and minimum required software components for your Android development. But some specific Android development need some specific tools. In that case, Android developer can select the custom option, and accordingly he or she can select the required components. Okay, so select the option whichever is appropriate for you and click on the next button. Then it will show the verify settings window, in which it will show you which components you have selected for the installation in previous window and how many space it will require of your local machine. Then click on the next button. After clicking on the next button, whatever software tools you were selected in the previous window, all that software tools will be downloaded automatically one by one, and it will be installed as well as one by one. But here for this installation you need an active internet connection to your machine on which you are installing the Android Studio. Okay, so after clicking on the it means while downloading the components, this particular setup will automatically connect to the official site of the Android, and from there it downloads all these required tools and it installs that required tools as well. Once all setup or all software tools are installed successfully, then it will show this message: Android SDK is up to date. Okay, once you see this message on your the Android setup wizard screen, then you can click on the finish button. Okay, and after clicking on finish button, it will open the welcome window of the Android Studio. Here you will see the 5 options. First is to start or create a new project. Second is to open the existing Android project. Accordingly you can choose rest of the three options from this welcome window of Android Studio. Okay, so these were the steps which we have to follow to install the Android setup on Windows 10 operating system. But for other operating systems as well, for example Windows 8 or Windows 7, almost these steps are same. Now after installing all the required softwares for Android development, next step is to create an Android virtual device, which is also called as the emulator. And the Android virtual device is nothing but it is a virtual mobile phone, or we can say an AVD is a emulator instance that enables an Android developer to model the actual device, right? And AVD is used to replicate the functionality of actual Android phone or tablet or Android Wear or TV to test your Android applications locally when they are in development phase. Then each AVD consists of some hardware profiles like number of processors, it means number of cores of the CPU, then size of RAM, then amount of internal storage, also the amount of say expandable storage or SD card. All these hardware profile can be set up while creating an Android virtual device. Depending upon the requirement of any specific development, multiple AVDs can be created to test the applications with different configurations and different functionalities, right? And in any software development, it may be Android software development, or it may be some desktop.net software development, whatever it may be there. But software testing is important to confirm the behavior of the application when it will run in actual environment on different devices with varying capability. That is why testing is very important. Okay, and before testing on actual device, first of all, during the development phase, your Android application is tested on the Android virtual devices or emulator. Okay, now we'll see actual steps which are required to create an Android virtual device. To create an AVD, first step is to you have to create open your Android Studio, and once you open your Android Studio, its screen will look like this one, right? So there is at the top of the screen or ID, there is a toolbar which contains various icons, and by clicking on that particular icon, you can perform different actions. So one of them is the AVD manager icon, which is shown in this particular figure, right? So just click on this AVD manager icon, and other option is that for menu bar you can select the tools, and then you can select Android, and another menu will pop up there, and from there you can select the AVD manager. So both the actions will bring you to the same screen as shown in this next screen in this particular slide. Okay, so here in order to create a new virtual device, Android virtual device, you need to create you need to click on this create virtual device button. Okay, so here you have to select hardware profile for your Android virtual device. There are some predefined Android virtual devices which you can select from this particular table. Here there is a category of the devices. It may be TV, Wear or tablet. Currently these whatever devices are shown here, they belongs to phone category. Okay, and as soon as you select any particular device from this table, its configuration can be displayed in this form, graphics form. It will show you what is the size of that particular mobile phone, and what is the resolution of that mobile phone, and then what is its size, ratio and density. These properties will be shown at this right hand side screen. Okay, but if you want to create your own Android device with the required hardware profile, then you can create on this new hardware profile, and then you can give the name to your AVD and follow the steps given there. Okay. So after selecting one of the predefined AVD, or after creating your own AVD, it will be listed in this particular table. Okay. So after selecting that, you need to click on the next button. Here this is the AVD name which is given by default by the Android setup, but you can change it as per your requirement. Then this is startup orientation selection. If by default it is selected as a portrait orientation, and another orientation is the landscape orientation. It means when you start your emulator, whether it should be displayed in landscape orientation or it should be displayed in portrait orientation, it is decided by these settings, right? And then after giving proper selections, you need to click on the finish button. Right, now I will show you how to create an Android virtual device practically. So first step is to open your Android Studio. After opening your Android Studio, the screen will be shown like this one, as shown in this particular lecture. So here, either from toolbar you can select this AVD manager. So as soon as you move on, you make a stable cursor on that particular icon, it will give its description. Okay. So this icon is for creating an Android virtual device. It is called as the Android manager. It means Android manager is a software component or software tool which creates an Android virtual device. Okay. First method is either you can click on this icon, or another method is from this menu bar you select tools and then select Android, and from here you can select AVD manager. So both actions will bring you to the same steps. Okay. So then it will show you a window. From here you can create new Android virtual devices. If you have already created some Android virtual devices, then all these devices will be listed here as shown in this particular figure. And from here, if you want to create your own device, then you need to click on the create virtual device. It will show the next screen. From here, either you can select these predefined hardware profiles, or you can create your own emulator settings. These are the categories. This is for TV, Android, this is for Android Wear, this is for phone, and this is for tablet. Okay, so in this case we are going to develop for the phone, so I will select the phone, and as soon as I will change the selection, this graphical representation will also change. It means it will show the hardware profiles of this particular AVD which you have selected from this list. Okay, like see this, its screen size is very small, it's 3.7 inch. Where as soon as I select Nexus 6, it will show this one, which screen size is 5.96 inches and its resolution is like this one. Okay, either you can select from this predefined list and then click on the next button. Okay, and then you can click on the next button, and then here you can give your appropriate name, and then you need to click on the finish button. Okay, and it will create your AVD. But if you want to create your own AVD, then you need to select here, click here on the new hardware profile, right, and here give a name. I will give here demo underscore AVD, or I will prefer AVD underscore demo, right. So here you can select device type. We are going to develop for phone and tablet, so I will not change it. And this is screen size, you can change it. Right now it is a 5-inch screen size, So change it to 7 inches screen size, and this is the resolution. Okay, so I will increase it to by 1000, like this one. And this is a memory, means amount of RAM you can specify here. Currently there is a 2 GB RAM. I will change it to the 3 GB RAM. Now actually whatever size is given here, it actually accesses the storage space of your hard disk as a size of the RAM in your emulated phone. Now this is the methods which are input methods which we have to specify. It means whether your phone should show you back button, home button and menu button, or whether it should have hardware keyword. If you have check this hardware keyword button, then your hardware keyword will be shown in your emulator. Okay. And the next is the supported device states. It means whether it will support portrait or landscape. It means if you rotate your mobile phone, your application should also rotate accordingly or not. If you have checked here these two check boxes, it will support, otherwise it will not support the that particular orientations. Then there are some emulated devices like cameras. If you want to support rear and front cameras, then you need to check all these check boxes. And there are some sensors, accelerometer, then gyroscope, then GPS and proximity sensor. So keep it as it is, or depending upon requirement you can unselect or unselect some features from this list, and then you click on the finish button. Okay. See here, AVD_demo is your own created AVD, and it is listed in this particular table. Okay, and then you click on the next button. Then here you have to select the system image. It means which Android version you are going to use on that particular Android device, right? And then, but remember, whatever selection you are given here, that Android version should be installed on your machine. In my case, I have this Nougat code name. It means Android version 7 is installed on my machine. That's why I have selected this one, and then click on the next button. Okay, so here your AVD name will be like this one. You can change it, AVD demo API 24. So if you want to this only, you can delete this API 24, but I will let it, I will not change it, and I will say keep it as a default, right? And then you have to click on the next button. Not next button, only you have to click on the finish button. Right? After clicking on the finish button, it will take some time, and your new AVD is created here. See here, these two are my previous AVDs, and this is whatever I have created recently. This is my AVD_demo. This is the recent AVD. Right? Now, in order to launch your AVD, you can click on this launch AVD button, which is a green arrow. So I click on this, and depending upon the speed of your machine, it will start your AVD. See here, your newly created AVD is started, and now it is Android operating system is installing on that particular AVD. So it will take some time. Since we have selected a screen size as 7 inches, that's why its size is shown like this, somewhat big. So according to the setting what you have selected, it will show as a emulator, and after some time it will show you emulator or Android official device as shown in this particular window. Okay, so this is your newly created emulator, and from here you can test your application. It looks it works exactly like as your actual mobile phone with some limitation. It means from this particular emulator you cannot create a real mobile a real phone call, or you cannot send a real SMS messages to your on your Android, actual Android device, but most of the functionality is emulated here, which that works on your actual Android device. Okay, so you can click on this menu icon. It will show you whatever there currently in that particular emulator. If you click on the gallery, it will show the blank because there are no images currently stored in the gallery. Likewise, if you click on the contacts, then there are no contacts, but you can add a contact, or you can also import a contact from other ones, so other sources. Okay, if you click on the settings, then it will show the settings. It looks like as that of your actual mobile devices. Okay, it is mobile networks. In short, an Android virtual device replicates a functionality or simulates a functionality of the actual mobile or smartphone, so that Android developers can write their applications and test their applications on the emulator. Okay, now I will close this AVD or emulator. Okay, as you can create your own AVD, you can also edit it by clicking on this particular edit AVD icon, or you can delete also by clicking on this arrow and then select delete button. So I will delete this because I am not there is no need for this AVD for my development or demo purpose only. I have created that, so I will delete it. Okay, so confirm message is there, click on the yes, and it will instantly delete your Android virtual device, right? So in this way you can create your AVD after installation of the required softwares for Android development.